WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Welcome back. We're tracking big changes to the forecast this weekend. The next system will bring a mixed bag of rain that could cause flooding, snow, and freezing temperatures. So we have declared a severe weather alert day, and Chief Meteorologist Andrew Dockery is working to keep you ahead of the threat. Andrew, good evening.
Yeah, we could call that system a forecasting nightmare. Rain, snow, cold temperatures, and the wind. Another thing that we haven't really talked about as much, but wind chill's going to feel even colder into the lower single digits as we end the weekend and go into next week. We're here at the Corbin Arena for the Kentucky Fishing Expo, brought to you by WYMT. And we're thinking of spring and summer, even though winter says not so fast. Let's take a look at some of the cameras, and you'll notice from our Whitesburg camera, cloudy skies continues to be the main story with cloud cover across satellite and radar. And that's been the big story really across all of the Commonwealth, with temperatures in the upper 30s to lower 40s at this time. As we look into the 12-hour planner, you'll see temperatures drop into the upper 30s tonight with a slight rain chance as well at 20%. We'll look at your weekend headlines. Pretty simple. 1 to 2 plus inches of rain expected for tomorrow. High water issues are anticipated. Maybe some flooding problems with that. Then a light coating of snow with maybe a stronger band somewhere in Kentucky. That's somewhere still to be determined. And some freezing weather as well, with overnight freezes to the roadways both Saturday night and Sunday. If you have early morning travel, Sunday morning or Monday morning, that's what this severe weather alert day is for. It's to prepare you for the worst right now. We'll have a full look at that forecast coming up in a few short minutes.
All righty, Andrew. Everybody's talking about how fishing is a spring and summer type event. My Uncle Jim fishes out on the ice in Michigan every weekend. He's probably getting ready to go out this weekend, so it's a year-round sport. We'll be back with you, Andrew. Well, driving in the snow or ice can be very dangerous. Thankfully, we have the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet in Letcher County there to clear a path. Drivers are preparing for the bad weather we may get this weekend, fueling up their trucks, clearing their windows, and getting the salt ready to pour. Now, they do have a 10,000-gallon tank of calcium chloride and an 1,800-gallon tank of salt brine ready to keep you all safe for what is to come.
From what I understand, it's going to be a really cold drop real quick. So we may see rain, snow, and then freezing rain. And the freezing rain is what's the worst for us.
Now, workers advise you to keep an eye out as they clear a path for you Saturday night into Sunday morning before traveling in the dangerous conditions. Well, temperatures keep dropping, and some of you may still be in denial that it is truly winter time. The upcoming rain and snow has Whitesburg Police Department concerned, and they once again plan to offer their services to the elderly who may need their help in the cold. WYMT's Taylor Upchurch drove around with police as they kept an eye out for those in need.
Hi.
You okay?
Yeah, how are you?
Doing all right.
It's about more than criminal investigation. Sometimes it's about caring for your neighbors.
It's a personal thing. They want to help.
The Whitesburg Police Department checking on the elderly during the frigid cold temperatures.
We do everything that we can to try to help them, to make them more comfortable.
They always answer my call.
If you are sick or do not feel like risking your safety on the slick, snow-covered roads, or simply do not want to get out in the cold, if you need help, just call.
You know, they may need just a loaf of bread or a gallon of milk or just something minor that we'll run out to the store and grab.
Erlene Williams may not call often, but says it's nice knowing the elderly community can call for help on a second's notice.
You know, that's our big concern, is taking care of each other. And that goes with the police department also.
Her family is still nearby, but she's thankful for her men in blue.
I'm just so thankful that we have people who are willing to sacrifice their time and even their health or their life to help somebody else.
Keeping you safe in the cold. In Letcher County, Taylor Upchurch, WYMT Mountain News.
Police say if you ever need their services, never hesitate to call. You can reach the Whitesburg Police Department at 606-633-3714. Tonight, police still need your help finding this man. They say Philip Lee Lewis III shot and killed Gary Medlin while attempting to rob a Knox County store Wednesday. This is video just before he fired that fatal shot. Police think he had a getaway driver. He has ties to Mississippi and Michigan. Today, Kentucky State Police told us they have issued an alert to states across the eastern part of the U.S. Well, there's been 3 arrests, a year-and-a-half murder case in southern Kentucky that shocked a small community. A husband and wife and a 16-year-old son were strangled to death in Whitley County in September of 2017. Here are those 3 men: Darnell Chivers, Jeremy S. Hatfield, and Anthony Hester. Phil Pendleton has the latest on this developing story.
It was a case that had been unsolved for almost a year and a half, but police here in Williamsburg say they began to put the pieces of this complex puzzle together about 6 months ago when they were approached by relatives, and they say they made the last of those 3 arrests just this past week. Now, the 3 are accused of killing Imogene Bittner, her husband Christopher, and 16-year-old Robert Kennedy III. All 3 were found dead in their home or outside the home on Deep Branch Road. They were strangled to death. Now, over the past 6 months, Williamsburg police say they were contacted by the family to take over the investigation. That investigation then resulted in the arrests of Darnell Chivers, Jeremy Hatfield, and Anthony Hester.
As we looked into it, we realized that, there was 3 pretty strong suspects. So we started working it hard for 6 months.
Now, all 3 are charged with murder, tampering with physical evidence, as well as burglary. And we are still gathering details about this complex case. We hope to have a lot more coming up tonight at 11 o'clock. But for now, in Whitley County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, Hester is awaiting extradition back to Kentucky. We are told the other suspects are in the Whitley County Jail. Now, during a meeting yesterday, EnerBlue officials expressed concern that the government shutdown is causing a delay in construction. Despite that setback, EnerBlue officials say they are excited to be in eastern Kentucky. And approval to build from a department of the federal government is still needed to start construction. However, that approval cannot be complete during the shutdown. As soon as that setback is out of the way, EnerBlue will begin construction.
There may be some small delay in completion of the facility, but to my knowledge, it's still very much on schedule.
EnerBlue officials tell us they hope to break ground this spring. People should be able to start working at the site about a year later when the first building is finished being constructed. Once the entire facility is complete, EnerBlue will have more than 800 employees. Another source of jobs coming to Pikeville is well on the way to completion. Here is a look from the Silverliner site today. Officials tell us it is being made from the same materials that will be used to make EnerBlue. Silverliner is a tanker truck manufacturing facility. It will provide about 300 jobs. We have received numerous calls and Facebook messages about a couple of missing boys in Knott County. We want you to know that we have been calling on the situation. Here is what officials have been able to tell us. 2 boys did run off from the school earlier this week. Investigators cannot release the boys' names or pictures. We will not specify why that is the case. Officials do not believe they are in any danger. We will keep in contact with officials and update you if more information can be released. The FBI needs your help in looking for a man they say is involved in the several different robberies. Federal investigators have released pictures of this man they're nicknaming Home of the Traveling Bandit because they robbed 7 banks in 6 different states. He is said to walk up to the counter and present a note demanding money. Surveillance video captures him getting into this vehicle with Kentucky tags. If you have any information at all on this man, please call police. In Clay County, a man is facing multiple drug charges tonight. Deputies arrested 40-year-old Floyd Begley last night after searching his home. They showed up at Begley's home because of a complaint. They say Begley allowed them into the home. Inside, they found thousands of dollars of drugs, stolen credit cards, and drug paraphernalia. Begley faces drug trafficking and fraud charges. Well, today is the first day of the Kentucky Fishing Expo presented by WYMT and Pittsburgh Marine. The event is open until 9 o'clock tonight, but continues through Sunday afternoon. WYMT's Justin Case is live at the event with what you can expect as you roll through. Justin?
Will, the center of the Corbin Arena right behind me is just packed with fishing boats, but there's so much more here than just that, really anything fishing related. And one thing I found odd, organizers actually say even though it's cold outside, this is one of the best times of the year to get great deals on not only fishing boats, but really anything fishing related that you can find here at the event. And talking with local vendors, they say they really love connecting with people face to face. They say that helps build lasting relationships with their customers.
Oh, I think to small business it's most important because this is our way to connect one-on-one with customers, you know, and a lot of customers that fish, that's a big benefit where you can pick up somebody and call them and talk to them about their product and applications, and I've just, you know, got a lot of lifelong friends from this.
So right over my shoulder here, you're going to see a blue table. This is the WYMT table that we have set up here. We're handing out door prizes. You can stop by throughout the weekend and meet some of the people from our station. We'll have more coming up tonight at 11. Will?
All righty, Justin, thank you. It's a great opportunity for you all to get out of the rain and the cold this weekend, so make your way on over to the Corbin Arena. Well, the decline in coal severance funds and people leaving the region have taken a toll on many, including school districts across the mountains in recent years. Now, leaders at two school systems are at odds. It involves the students. Should they be allowed to choose freely where they go, or be restricted based on the district they live in? WYMT's Hannah Reynolds explains.
$9,184. That is the amount Bell County Superintendent Yvonne Gilliam says they lose every time a student leaves the district. And now that school district's non-resident agreement with Pineville Independent is at an impasse.
We don't want to force a student to go anywhere that they don't feel is appropriate for them, or they don't that they're not happy.
Pineville Superintendent Russell Thompson wants students to be able to pick whatever school they want to attend, and some parents agree.
You know, ultimately they're taking our right as a parent away from us to be able to choose where we can educate our kid.
Gilliam told us in a written statement the Bell County School Board proposes a 1-for-1 deal, which would mean if they took in 70 kids, Pineville could allow 70 county kids to enroll there. Now, a Facebook group of parents is growing, debating the topic.
To, you know, just figure out what's going on and be able to just share their experiences and maybe help brainstorm some ideas on what we are able to do.
One thing is clear, though. Both school systems need money to thrive. Money from the state based on enrollment provides much of that. And at the end of the day, if the two sides do not find a compromise, it could come down to the state deciding what's best for the districts and students. In Bell County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
A non-resident agreement between school districts allows students to cross state-drawn district lines to enroll. Obviously, there is much more to the story, so each superintendent agreed to a 15-minute unedited interview apiece next week. That will air during Issues and Answers the following week. Now, you can read Superintendent Gilliam's full statement on our website over at WYMT.com. Well, playing basketball for the University of Kentucky is a dream for many kids growing up in the Bluegrass. Tawani Beckham was one of those kids, but his road to being a Wildcat wasn't easy. Beckham is from Louisville. He wasn't recruited to play at UK, but after a stint at Mississippi State, he found his way to Lexington as a walk-on. But Beckham had a number of injuries and eventually a career-ending back surgery. His story off the court is one of a kid who had the odds stacked against him.
I've had a lot of friends who were, murdered. I had a lot of friends who, did things that found themselves in prison. And, I had coaches and mentors that kind of put their arms around me when I was a kid and kind of showed me the ropes. So I always told me that, you got the potential to be somebody special.
That's what sports can do. Tonight on Sports Overtime, Amber Philpott has Beckham's story of leaving the court behind and turning to writing to inspire others. Well, it all started as a class project, but now it could help first responders in emergency situations. Connor James breaks it down just ahead.
Rain, snow, and cold temperatures. We'll break it all down live from Corbin right after the break.